If you are looking to identify the best potential keywords for your Google search campaigns, you are definitely in the right place because I'm going to be giving you a full tutorial on how I personally use the Google Keyword Planner within the Google Ads interface. If you're new here, my name is Michelle. I'm the founder of Level 28 Media, and I help local service-based businesses generate leads through Google Ads. So if you are spending at least $2,000 a month and you're looking for an audit or managed services, check out the link below and I'd be more than happy to have a discussion with you. Now let's take you through how I use the Google Keyword Planner in order to discover new keywords and then look up search volumes and forecasting. So let's go ahead and take you through the Google Ads interface. You do need the Google Ads interface in order to log into the Google Keyword Planner. It's a completely free tool. Now, once you have your Google Ads access and you want to access the Keyword Planner, you would just go to the search bar and type in keyword. And then when you see Keyword Planner, click there and it will take you to the screen that you see here on my screen. You're going to see discover new keywords, get search volume and forecasts, and also organize keywords into ad groups. We're not going to be looking at this one today. We're only going to be focusing on these two, discover new keywords, and then also get search volume and forecasts. I use this mainly when I'm doing the forecasting to determine how much budget I should be allocating based off of the keywords that I've decided on. But I always start with this one, discover new keywords first, in order to make sure that I've covered all my ground and all my bases in order to determine the best potential keywords to use on my Google Ads campaigns. Now, once you click discover new keywords, you're going to be prompted with two options. One is start with keywords, one starts with a website. If you don't already have keywords that you think would be a good fit, you could start with your website. Just enter your URL in here and then Google will then scan the content of your website to then come up with keywords that it thinks would be highly relevant for you and also give some forecasting. One really important thing that a lot of people tend to make mistakes on is they'll leave it in the default. Default will be set to the US. So make sure that if you only want to target a very specific region within the US, that you have your location set in the right place. For this example, I'm just going to use California, so it's already correct. Because that's what I had originally intended to have it on, but usually it's defaulted to just the US. So if you know that you're not targeting the entire US, make sure to change that, or else all of your search volume forecast is going to be completely off. Now I'm going to show you how I use both of these two features in order to determine the best possible keywords for my own personal research. Now let's start with some keywords. I'm going to actually start with an example. I'm going to just pick solar company because I've got a solar client right now, and that was the first thing that came to mind. So let's go ahead and get started and just type in some keywords that I think would be a good potential fit. So solar contractor, solar installer, solar near me, sunrun, solar panel installation. Just very simple. Actually, I'm just going to get rid of sunrun because that's a brand here. Let's just keep it to all non-branded keywords. I think that this is fine for now. We can even just type in solar company. Okay, boom. Get results. Once you click on get results, it will pull in the keywords that you typed in. If you type in some keywords that don't have any search volume, Google's actually going to remove that from the list and only show you the keywords that do have search volume. But in this example, all the keywords that I've personally typed in already have search volume in California. Of course, if we shrink down this to, let's say, a specific county within California, these numbers are going to shrink quite dramatically. But I'm just giving you this example for the state of California. And this shows you exactly what the average monthly searches are in California. The 3-month change, has it been increasing over the last 90 days? Has it been increasing or decreasing on a yearly? And what the average top of page bid is on on the low end, and also top of page bid on the high end. So you can see what the floor and the ceiling is typically. Now, I do want to preface this by saying that the Google Keyword Planner isn't always accurate, so do take it with a grain of salt, but this is going to be the closest and best tool for you to use. And I've used different tools like SEMrush. I've used other tools where you'd have to pay for services like SpyFu in order to do keyword research, but a lot of times they pull this data directly from the keyword planner. So they're pulling it from a free source and charging you. But if you already have access to the keyword planner, which everyone should because it's free, if you have your Google Ads account, you can easily access it. And it will show you exactly what the range is. So on the low end, $10 per click for solar contractor in California. And then on the high end, we're looking at about, close to $50 a click. Now, beyond that, Google will show you keyword ideas. So this is where the meat of the research is done. Google will look at other competitive keywords or keywords that relate to this. Of course, you want to review these keywords. You don't just want to do a download and then just like upload all these keywords without actually fully vetting it, because I found Google giving some really bad keyword ideas. So you need to be the one to fully vet. Like, I wouldn't necessarily go after Tesla solar panels unless the company that I'm advertising for actually offers that. So keep that in mind as you're looking to build out your campaign. Just because Google makes the recommendation doesn't mean that that's what you should be doing. And based off of this, you could see what can you actually afford. If you know that you absolutely can't afford anything over, let's say, $20 a click, then you definitely would want to err on the side of choosing keywords that are going to be more affordable. And this pretty much gives you a range. And what I like to do is I like to look at the average between the two, because you might not, depending on the bid strategy that you use, it might not be as aggressive and hit this, or it could be super aggressive and go above this. So I tend to just look at averages between the low and the high range to determine what the average cost per click should be. And then based off of this, I will then determine which keywords I think would be a good fit based off of the top of page bid, low range and high range. And then I see what I think would be a good fit based off of what I think customers would be searching. Now here, there's a column that says competition. So the competition shows you how competitive the ad placement is for a keyword. So just because something says it's like high, it doesn't mean it's something that you should necessarily walk away from and not use. Take it with a grain of salt. It just ranks it for you depending on the level of competition. I tend to like to go towards low and medium, but sometimes if I see some keywords that are high that I think would be really, really strong fits, I'll test them out just to see what would be could be a good fit, because you don't truly know the performance of a keyword until you actually start running the campaign. And the performance also does depend on how well your ads are, and then also set up, and then how well your landing page is optimized too. So keep that in mind. And then along with that, let me take you through what Google has forecasted based off of the previous month. So Google looks at the previous months in order to help show you the trends of these keywords, to show you, well, you know what? These keyword volumes actually do start to pick up. It's pretty flat if we're looking at, and this is just from 2024, January, February, March, April, then May, there's a tiny dip, and then June picks up, July, August, September. This is the exact same trend that we saw when we were running a solar campaign last year. We saw things start picking up more April, May. So I didn't see a dip here like what Google's did analysis is, but from what and by the way, the campaign that I was running, it was in another state, so I'm not as familiar, with the way that California was behaving, but it's very similar in that it definitely picked up more in the warmer months, and then it just started to get a little more quiet as we entered into Q4. So what you can do, little tip here, is you can change the date range. So you can look at the last 12 months if you really wanted to, or beyond 12 months, 24 months. If there was some anomaly that you wanted to do some research on. Another thing that you can do is download this as a file, Excel file, and then do your own research based off of that. Because as you can see here, there's quite a bit. There's 2,124 recommendations that Google has, and you wouldn't want to use every single one of these, of course, because not all of them are going to be a good fit, but you can do a download and then identify the best keywords, or you can just go ahead and check off the ones that you like, and then you can add keywords to create a plan or save the keywords. So that would be a way of keeping tabs of the ones that you want. The other section that I was going to show you within the keyword planner was starting with a website. I'm going to drop in this website here, sempersolaris.com, and I'm just going to let Google scan it, and this is a local solar company, and let's see what it comes back with. Just make sure that your settings California, and here we go. Solar panels for home, solar panel installation, fantastic. Solar panel California, okay, great. It's giving me lots of great potential keywords, and they all look to be good for the most part. So yeah, just review it on your own, make sure that these are a good fit. If it doesn't have any search volume, actually, all of these do have monthly searches, which is good. And then, yeah, you can just look at the top of page bid, low and high range, and then do your own research based off of that on what you can potentially afford given your budget. And then we can look at the forecasting. Actually, I'm going to take you to the actual forecasting section. So get search volume and forecast. This is going to show us exactly the forecast should be. So I'm just going to type in solar panels, solar installer, solar. I'm just going to type in these. Boom. Make sure that, and then here's the thing. I'm looking at this and it says United States. We don't want United States. We want just California. This is a big error that I see when people use the keyword planner. They just set it to the default. So yeah, as you can see, once we shrink it down to a smaller region, it's going to shrink down the number of monthly searches. And then you can see, just because there's a 3-month change, it doesn't necessarily, and that it's down doesn't necessarily mean you shouldn't target it. It's just that for the last 3 months, it's been slow for this industry. Less people are looking, the colder months, it's the holidays, the last 3 months that we were dealing with. So look at that, but just use it to give you an idea of what has been going on, but don't let it dictate exactly like your next, how you should be running your campaign. And then also here's your top of page bid low range, top of page bid high range, in order to see where you would net out if you were just to fall in between. Or if you wanted to go really aggressive, then I would use the top end range for your forecasting. Now, if you have any questions here on how to actually run the forecast to determine what your monthly budget should be, I do have a video that I already have put together. It's actually one of the more popular videos on my channel. I'll go ahead and drop it in the description below for you to check it out. But basically what I do in that video is I run a scenario and show you how I personally do the forecasting to determine the sufficient amount of budget needed in order to run a successful Google Ads lead generation campaign. So that is how I go about doing my keyword research. I don't think it's that complicated at all. Honestly, it's just to get my like my brain moving in terms of identifying the keywords, because you're really not going to know how it performs until you get it live. And then you can test and see what is going to perform well, and then weed out the keywords that don't perform as well. And then you can also save the keywords to a plan and refer back to it. I tend to just start a Google Sheets or Excel with all the keywords that I want, and then I just build it there instead of within the keyword planner. But there are, different options for you to go about building it out. So yeah, within the keyword planner, you can start with keywords, you can start with your website. Just make sure that your location is set properly, that you have the right language setting, and then it will be able to give you some examples as a starter point. ChatGPT is also a really great resource. I have a video on my channel already on my best keyword research methods, but this video was more on how to use how I personally use the keyword planner. But I am very well aware that there's other methods that you could be using beyond just the keyword planner to determine some other keywords to be using in your campaign. But if you found this video helpful, I would love to hear your biggest takeaway below in the comments, and let me know what video you guys would like to see next. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. I post videos about Google Ads every week, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Thank you.